Welcome a big competitor, a winner, what could I say, a warrior. Et maintenant c'est le moment d'avoir avec nous une grande compétitrice, une gagnante, une guerrière. Elle n'est pas en compétition dans le concours avec nous cette fois-ci parce qu'elle est dans la division H. Elle est basée à Lyon. She's not competing with the F. You have to wait. F is before H. You will go to H one time. So, division F basée à Lyon, mais elle est là pour nous faire un magnifique atelier. Son sport préféré aux Jeux Olympiques, c'est le ski. Je lui ai expliqué que c'était les Jeux Olympiques d'été, il n'y avait pas. Alors elle a dit, bon bah tu me mets sur le sky bar. Her favorite Olympic game is ski, but I told her it's Summer Olympics, so she said, okay, put me on the sky bar. Thank you very much, Carole, et à toi.
You know better than anyone that we don't just communicate with words. Et oui, nous communiquons également avec notre voix et avec notre corps. Et bien justement, en ce moment, j'ai l'impression que mon propre corps prend un peu trop de place dans mes communications. Et que sur ce corps, je ferais mieux de mettre un body. This workshop aims to consolidate things that you know very well. To give you the possibility to tweak your toolbox of communication. Et j'ai bien dit qu'il s'agit d'un atelier. Ça veut dire que je vais vous faire bosser. L'objectif en fin de journée est de faire remuer les méninges, de remonter le niveau d'énergie avant d'entendre les nouvelles, les résultats que vous attendez tous. D'accord? Okay, to work a little bit?
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's tweak those toolboxes. Words, voice, and body with the person next to you. You have 30 seconds to make a list of all the components that go into those 3 categories. Okay? What are the components that qualify your voice? What are the components that qualify your body? And what are the components that qualify your words? With your partners, go, write it down. Ce que tu veux, la voix, le corps ou les mots? Oui? Pitch. Vous voyez là derrière? Non. Comment dit-on pitch en français? Ah bah non, c'est la hauteur. Sylvie. Ben oui, c'est le timbre de la voix. Le timbre de la voix, c'est l'endroit d'où vous faites résonner votre instrument vocal. Plus, the more relaxed you are. the lower is your voice. And as you can hear, it's so sexy. But if being on stage gives you a little bit of stage fright, et vous devenez de plus en plus tendu, vous avez tendance à monter dans les écus. C'est pénible! It's terrible. And perhaps even if you have a cold, your voice might be a little bit nasal. And that's not so cool either. We have the voice that we have because it is shaped by our own physical shape. But we can modulate the pitch to a certain extent. Do you do that? Do you think to do that? She does, hooray! And now you think of it even more. What's the next thing? Qu'est-ce qu'on met après, Bernadette?
Rhythm.
Rhythm! Bernadette, you really buried the pitch of your voice. Huh? Didn't recognize you. The rhythm is the difference between the moment when you put energy and the moment you don't. En français, le rythme est parfaitement régulier. Il ressemble à un métronome. Voulez-vous une tasse de thé? In English, rhythm is totally irregular. And we don't know how a word will be pronounced until we've heard it or felt it. Sometimes you have to look in the dictionary to know if you say abdomen or abdo. I know that you say abdomen. Pa, 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 pa. And that, the rhythm, is something that you feel in your body through dancing and listening and experimenting. What else?
Pronunciation.
Enunciation, did you say? Or?
Pronunciation. Pronunciation.
Pronunciation? The word is pronunciation, not pronunciation. Pronunciation, I'm going to put enunciation. We learn to do that in Toastmasters, to speak clearly, but you know what? Sometimes our pronunciation, our enunciation will suffer because there's not enough puff to give you the rhythm until the end of the sentence. Et c'est là où on se souffle en fin de mot. Et on n'entend pas la fin de la mot. So think about your pronunciation and your enunciation because it's connected to the rhythm and it's connected to the way you breathe. Le souffle. Est-ce que je mets le souffle, la respiration ici ou est-ce que je le mets dans le corps? Évidemment, tout est lié. Mais sachez que les deux choses ont un impact. What else? C'est super. Moi, j'ai un micro. Chez Toastmasters, j'ai appris à parler fort. Alors donc, pour moi, des fois, il faut que je me souvienne que quand j'ai le micro, il faut que je fasse attention de ne pas parler trop fort, parce que ça fait... It goes too loud and it saturates the microphone if I speak too loud. But my philosophy is variety is the spice of life. C'est la variété qui met du piment dans la vie. Et lorsque vous parlez en public, ou lorsque vous racontez une histoire à vos copains au scuba le soir, variez le volume. Vary the volume. Speak loudly and sometimes softly. As we've heard today with some of the more emotionally charged speeches, it was appropriate to lower the volume. And what am I doing as I lower my volume? Qu'est-ce que je fais lorsque je baisse le volume? Ah bah oui, parce que le corps est lié aussi. I bow my head. I speak more slowly. Je varie le débit Est-ce qu'on parle vite ou est-ce qu'on parle lentement? Do we speak slowly or do we speak quickly? And I'm using more silence. Je dis toujours, les Français sont paniqués dès qu'ils sentent le silence. Ah, il y a un ange qui passe! Ah, vite, vite, vite! Remplissez le blanc, n'est-ce pas? When we speak English, we are perhaps more comfortable with silence. What else? What? Comment? L'addiction, c'est ça. Même chose. Il manque comme...
Maybe the tone, the emotional tone.
Yeah. We're going to say... Tone, intonation. Okay, monotonous is when you're speaking all the time in the same. L'intonation, c'est la mélodie. C'est lorsque je vais vers le haut et lorsque je descends vers le bas. Parce que j'ai quelque chose de très important à vous demander. English intonation, surprisingly perhaps, is more extravagant than French. We have a tendency to go up and up more. Did you know that? Than in French. And especially we don't go up and down in the same places. Have you ever heard a French person who says, my name is Carol Bausor, and I'm from Toastmasters of Paris, and I live in Lyon? Well, don't you know? Who are you asking? Because we have an inappropriate use of intonation. Because everything is connected. Sachez que si le bras monte, la voix aussi. Et si le bras descend, la voix aussi. It is impossible to have a gesture going up and a voice going down. So, that's how you train your intonation. What about the body? Posture. Posture is how you hold your body. C'est la façon de vous tenir. Les gestes. Gestures.
You're fidgeting.
I'll come back to that in a minute. Did you say fidgeting?
I did.
That's great. I'm going to put that. I like that so much. Some gestures are gestures which accompany the rhythm of what you're saying. In English, it would seem almost natural to accompany this irregular rhythm with a certain orchestration. En français, on le fait moins. Mais regardez donc les anglophones à la télé, les langues maternelles. Il y a quelque chose qui bouge, qui accompagne le rythme. Ça peut être les bras, ça peut être les genoux qui plient, ça peut être les épaules qui font ça, ça peut être les sourcils. Mais il y a un besoin physiologique d'accompagner ce rythme bizarre. Some gestures, and we've all heard this in evaluations, are what we call comfort gestures. Don't do. Lorsque vous êtes sur scène, à éviter. Some gestures have a semantic meaning. That is, they accompany words, or they replace words. They accompany words by saying, là-bas, c'est cher. On va boire un coup? D'accord? Some gestures are cultural. Could you turn to the person next to you and do a gesture, polite preferably, from your culture, and see if the other person recognizes that gesture. Vous faites un geste bien de chez vous, et l'autre personne doit deviner ce que c'est. Allez-y.
World famous namaste, you know.
Okay, now, I believe, what would happen if I say to you, namaste?
I will not allow you in India.
So these gestures, we have to get them right. I believe there's a certain level appropriate for, I don't know what, but ask him, he'll teach you. What was the other gesture?
For money. For money?
Okay, so we know that. Is there any gesture that we could guess? Non, non, tu ne dis pas. C'est puissant, hein, c'est le mouvement qui est puissant, qui donne de la force. Oui, mais ça, est-ce qu'il y a des gestes que l'on risque de ne pas connaître? Are there any gestures that perhaps we don't know? Sue, stand up, Sue, and show us. You did that during your speech just now.
I did this. For me, you see, until I was 30 and went to America, that in my house and my family and everybody I knew meant, do you want a cup of tea?
One more? Lève-toi. Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire ça? What is this? Right. Okay. How do you say j'en ai marre? I've had enough. Fed up? Okay. Jimmy, you've been contaminated by the Gallic civilization. How do Anglo-Saxons say I've had enough? Yes. We have a much lower level of intolerance. Let me show you an English gesture, and everyone can Sue, except Sue, will guess what it means. This is an English gesture, and it goes. Nosy. Ginny doesn't know what nosy means.
I do, but I've never seen this.
You never seen that gesture? Keep your nose. Enlève ton nez de mes affaires. Trop curieux. Tu as le nez trop long. British. Definitely. Sure knew it though.
Can't hear you, can't.
French people. Do you know what Anglo-Saxons consider to be the most typical French gesture? Les Français? C'est un geste qu'on considère comme tellement énorme qu'on lui a même donné un nom.
French kiss.
That is another great French contribution. This is what we think is a very French gesture. It's called the... What's that, you ask? Here is the demonstration of the Gallic shrug. Okay? And if I put the words, moi je sais pas moi. especially when we're on the stage, one of the hardest things for us to learn is to control that body. C'est de faire des mouvements que nous avons choisi nous-mêmes de faire et de ne pas être emportés par le vent. De même, tout geste, toute expression du visage, toute expression verbale que l'on répète de façon inconsciente peut être qualifiée de fidgeting ou de tic, de comportement obsessionnel. Honestly, you know, en français, au fait, donc, voilà, un petit peu. And the same with gestures. You're absolutely right. Fidgeting can be uncontrolled pacing. It can be, we've all seen that one, clicking, or this one. Ça peut être aussi ça. Je m'en lave les mains. Ou alors, je suis toujours mariée. Je sais pas. What's that one, Ginny? Oh, yeah. What's that? Angela Merkel. Yeah. And people pick up, once people have observed your fidgeting, they become obsessed by it and it decreases the power of your speech. What else for your body?
Movement.
Movement, yeah, I spoke about movement, control, eye contact. The people who I bet, the people who win the contest today are those who connected with the audience by looking at them, en les regardant, en établissant le contact avec les interlocuteurs.
Also facing the audience, not turning your back on.
Surtout quand on écrit, especially when you write. I wish some of our teachers had known that, you know, when they were writing on the blackboard. Quick, some more.
Facial expression.
Facial expressions. What else? Our clothes. I wonder if the men think about what they're going to wear on stage as much as we do. Well, you should. Clothes, accessories. What else?
Hair.
Yeah, put that in the clothes. How about level? Today, le niveau. Aujourd'hui, on a vu deux personnes qui ont joué avec le niveau. Le premier, c'était Jérôme, qui a dit... Et le deuxième, c'était le Bel Air. Le Bel Air, qui s'est mis à genoux. Change of level. When you speak to your kids, you know that it's different speaking to them, as I am speaking to you now, or getting on the same level. Anything else?
More challenging for women. 5.
Say cheese. Le saut.
Une chose, les femmes n'ont pas de forme d'Adam.
Il faudrait peut-être dire ça à je sais pas qui. On l'a bien entendu. Au niveau de la physionomie, there was somebody who spoke about lower your Adam's apple, and we already. Perhaps you can explain to us how to do that a little bit later on. Private lesson. All these elements are our toolbox. This is what makes the power of communication. And Toastmasters is a wonderful place to experiment with each of these components. We all have our personal repertoire, but we will know that we are growing and becoming more powerful in our communication the day we experiment with something that we haven't used before to make our body truly speak.
Merci beaucoup, Carole. Avant, on prenait un café tout à l'heure. Je crois que tu voulais dire 2 mots sur tes activités internationales.
Je suis chargée par le district de vous dire que j'ai le plaisir, sourire, parce que ça me crée vraiment le sourire, de travailler avec Dominique Carrasco, qui est responsable des relations publiques dans notre district. I'm Dominic Carrasco's assistant for the creation of corporate clubs. Mon rôle est d'encourager la création des clubs corporate. Imagine si là où tu bosses, il y a un club Toastmasters. Ça serait pas génial?
Oh my God.
Bon, on va en parler tout à l'heure. Because contrary to, in America, contrary to Belgium and contrary to Netherlands, there are very few corporate clubs in France. We've got one club that's being hatched thanks to Silvia Candido. We have a club in Toulouse at Airbus. We have a club at OCDE represented by Sue and very active as you saw. We have another club. Écoutez cette histoire, c'est merveilleux. Il y a des braves gens qui assistent à une réunion Toastmasters et après qui disent c'est fabuleux, on va créer un club chez nous. Et ce sont des gens du ministère de la Défense. Seulement ils ont dit vous pouvez pas venir. Hein, parce que that is Elizabeth Dance's job. Because it's a whole new project to encourage clubs in universities, and it's great if you can do it. That's why we have one person in charge. See Elizabeth. So if you want to build a club at your place of work or in a company that you know, of course you can get credits for that, and you will be helping to spread the wonderful message of Toastmasters all through the country.
Merci beaucoup, Carole.